Hi, we're live.
Okay, hi.
Welcome to this episode of Vestibular Talks.
Thank
Uh,
you.
would you like me to call you Rosa or Bella? What would you feel more comfortable with?
Rosa.
Rosa? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Rosa, my name is Johan, but as you may know, they also call me the chappiness guy. So you can call me either or.
Okay.
All right, Rosa. Well, I just wanted to chat with you because you have a very interesting page about Gemini the dog.
Yeah.
And from your page, I know that you're a dog trainer. That's correct.
Yes.
Okay. And do you train your dogs on an obedience or basically in ways to help other people deal with their kind of like support dogs or what kind of training do you do?
So for my work, I just train like obedience. I do like aggressive dogs, scared dogs, and all that. I train dog like puppies. And I train just dogs like with like obedience and all that. But with my dogs, I train them to be support dogs. So
Okay.
like Gemini's a service dog. So he helps me like at home. He helps me at home a lot. So like you can see I have my head on this blanket. So that's Gemini over here. Gemini?
Just hanging out with you there.
Yeah, so that's
Dude,
Gemini. So usually right now I just have him off duty. So I kind of have him relax. When he's off duty, I use a blanket or a pillow, and I kind of just keep my head up. When Gemini's working, I'll tell him to be a pillow, so I'll just say pillow, and he'll come and lay here. Or if I'm laying on my back, he'll be under my back. Oh, he heard the word pillow, so he's trying to. so so he pretty much keeps my head up because I have benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. So
yeah, BPPV.
BPPV. Yep.
Yeah.
So pretty much if I move my head is like very, very sensitive. So if I move my head is like too fast or if I move my head like crooked, I get really, really dizzy. So he helps me just keep my head in just one position. Um, if
Yes.
um if I shake my head too much, he will come and kind of tell me to stop doing that to prevent that. If I do ever have an episode, he will bring me my medicine. He'll bring me some water, and he'll bring me my phone. So those are the three main things that I need him to bring.
Really?
Yeah. So his three main tasks are, being a pillow, stopping me from shaking so much or moving my head a lot. And then he does retrieving, so my medicine, water, and my phone. Um, if we're out in public, if I start feeling dizzy, I tell him to, or like really lightheaded, I'll tell him to find a chair, and he'll go and take me to a chair, and then I sit down.
Nice.
Yeah, so he really helps me a lot, and uh,
That sounds so incredible. It's almost like having an actual person there helping you out, like with everything that he does. Like that's just so
yeah, it
like
is. It definitely gains a lot of independence because I don't have to have someone with me all the time.
yeah, yeah, no
So it
kidding.
so it's nice to have someone like because it is scary when you're by yourself. You can't talk, you can't do anything, and people look at you like you're drunk or something, and it's like,
Yes, yes.
and, you know,
I know.
and you just need help, but no one's helping you because they're like, I'm gonna walk away from you.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
so it is a very scary moment. So having him is like it really, really helps me. And
That's amazing.
yeah, it is. He's everything. So it is nice to have him around. Um, Sometimes it's not. It's kind of it's just it's like carrying a newborn baby around. You got to be very protective, and a lot of people want to see him, and it's like I just want to get some tomatoes or something, and I'm getting people asking me questions. So it can be a burden sometimes to have him around, but I am very thankful.
Yeah, no kidding. But when he's working in working mode and people try to pet him or to distract him, how do you react to that? Like, is he able to keep on that working mode, or when people are like over him trying to pet him, he kind of like loses track of what he's doing?
He tries his hardest not to get distracted, but if people are very persistent,
Yeah.
he can't help that. So he's like, "Oh, hi," but he does try to focus on me. But normally I try to stop people before they kind of get too close to him. I'll tell them
Okay.
don't touch, or I'll be like, "Hey, he's working."
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not afraid to be his voice, so I will. I'll tell them nicely, and if they don't, then I'll get a little more. I'll use my mom voice. That's what I call it, my mom voice. So it is, because they also told me I'm at high risk of Meniere's disease. Is that what it's
Many
called?
years. Yep. Yep.
So they say a lot of like stress and like weird trigger, like a lot of weird different things trigger it.
Yes. Yes.
So when I start kind of getting what's like overwhelmed, like very, very overwhelmed or stressed out, I start getting really lightheaded and kind of just like really lightheaded. I'll get kind of nauseous and kind of like my hearing goes in and out. I don't
Yeah.
really know how to explain it, kind of like a muffled
Yep.
type of
I know.
hearing.
Yep.
Um, so like when I get frustrated when people don't listen, like not to touch him, it is really scary because he's getting distracted, so he's not able to work.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I do, it is hard, but what I like about him is he doesn't care about other people. He wants to make sure I'm safe. So
Nice. That's yeah.
I do like that he's not like a people, like I shouldn't say he's not a people person, but he doesn't care about other people. He only cares about me.
Yeah. You're his focus. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So even if people call him over, he's like, nah, I don't care about you. So
Good.
yeah,
Good.
he's a one person only type of dog. So
Nice, nice. That's very nice. So we have two very powerful stories because we have your story where you're dealing with this basically chronic illness, and then we have his story where he's your support to kind of like provide you a strength in the moments
hmm
that your chronic illness takes over. So let's start with your story. How for how long you've been suffering from this BPPV?
so I started. I can't give you like the exact age because I don't remember, but
Mm-hmm.
I started back when I want to say fifth, fifth or sixth grade. I want to say
Oh,
it's fifth.
okay.
So I was probably about, I don't know how old I was, but it was fifth grade. um,
Mhm.
so it started when I was in gym class and we were doing sit ups so that, you're flat on your back
Yeah.
and all that. So I was just laying there on my back. And when I went to go, lift my head up, everything was spinning. So I laid back down and I kind of just like, kind of give it a moment like, okay, maybe I just stood up too fast. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I had no idea what was going on. I'm just like, oh, okay, it's gonna pass.
Mm-hmm.
Then I get up again, everything's spinning. So I lay back down and I start panicking because I'm like, oh no, everyone's lining up to go play dodgeball and I'm just the last one laying here. So I'm freaking out. Like I don't.
Yes.
I'm more embarrassed because I'm the last one laying down. So so I'm trying to get up. Now I'm just like trying to force myself to get up. I'm like, okay. So I sit up and everything's just spinning and finally I just fall over because it's too much.
It's too
It's too
powerful.
much
Yeah.
spinning. Yeah. So then I start crying because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know,
I
like,
know. I know the feeling. Yeah.
the very first time you get it, you just don't know what's going on.
It's very it makes your anxiety flare up because you're right, like you don't know what's happening to your body. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was so young, and I just I had like a breakdown. So
Yeah.
then my teacher came over. She's like, "What's going on?" And I'm just like, I'm trying to get words out of my mouth. She's just like, I don't know what's going on with her.
Mm.
And finally, I'm just like falling asleep. I'm just like so dizzy. I'm so tired. I'm just, everything's just hitting me. So she carries me. She carries me to the nurse's office, and they tell her, she's like, I don't know what's going on. She just fell over, and she's not able to speak. And so, I'm trying to talk to the nurse, but like my words are so mumbled. It's like I'm literally drunk,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like so I'm like trying to speak, but my words are like, oh, and so the nurse calls my mom, and my mom comes and picks me up, and I'm like falling asleep. I'm throwing up. I would wake up and I would throw up. Then I fall asleep, and then, my head's just like hurting, and I was like weak, done, and just, yeah, it was too much for me. So I go to the doctor. I don't know what they're saying because I was too tired and too young to even care.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
So then, I go home and I was probably dizzy for the rest of the week. I was just, but they didn't, like, I don't know what the doctor told my mom, but I pretty much just slept the entire week. I was off of school for that week.
Mhm.
And then after that week, I was fine. I was okay.
Okay.
Finally, we fast forward to freshman year. After that, I didn't have any attacks. So freshman year, it's my brother's birthday, and we're having a little family dinner for him.
Mhm.
And I'm probably, I think I was 13 or 14 my freshman year. But it was my brother's birthday. We were in my room. Me and my cousins were, and we're just playing. Everything was fine. I was perfectly normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were just like, I wasn't even laying down. I was sitting the way I'm sitting right now, like I'm just laying on my bed.
Uh-huh.
And I was just messing around, and I had put my head down like this, and I put my head up, and everything just started spinning.
Oh no.
I got another panic attack because I was just like, oh no, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I try to play it cool because I don't like crying in front of people. So I'm trying not to cry. I'm trying not to panic. I'm just like, okay, calm down. It's gonna pass. It's gonna pass. So finally, it didn't pass, and I just started crying. And I told my cousin, I'm like, go get my mom. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So my mom came and got me, and she comes in. She's like, what's wrong? And I'm trying to lift my head up, but I couldn't. So I'm just like
Mhm.
crying. I'm like, Mom, I'm so dizzy. And
Yeah.
she thought we were doing drugs. She thought we were doing drugs, and she thought we were like drinking or something. She's like, what were you guys doing? I was like, I swear we weren't doing anything. And then like she knew I was telling the truth because she said the color of my face, like I didn't look like me. That's what she said. She said I looked very pale. I looked
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
she said I looked like a different person. She's like, so they ended up taking me to the hospital because it was just so bad. I was sweating, but I was really cold.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I know. I can relate. It gives me goosebumps. It gives me goosebumps listening to your story because I can relate so much. Yeah.
so like, and it's crazy because I try to tell people and they like they don't get it. They're like, you're
Yeah.
just dizzy. It's like you don't understand. But I had a blanket on me, and I was like, why do you have a blanket? You're sweating. I'm like, I'm cold.
Yeah.
And it's the middle of summer too. It's July 14th, and I'm in the hospital with my blanket, sweating, throwing up, and um I don't really remember what happened because I think I fainted. I think I faint during
Oh
these because
wow.
I either like fall asleep or something. I don't know because I like black out
Uh
from
huh.
the dizziness, and then I'll wake up and then I'll be so tired and I'll just fall asleep again. So I
Mm.
don't know if it's like me just fainting or what's going on, but um so they get me in. I'm on the IV fluids because they said my body was so dehydrated.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know what else they gave me, but I pretty much was asleep for like 10 hours straight in the hospital. I was just asleep.
Mm.
and,
Wow.
uh, and my mom was trying to wake me up. She's like, we gotta go home. And I'm just like, okay. And well, next thing I do, I wake up and I'm home. So it's kind of weird because you're in one place and then you wake up and you're in a different place. It's weird.
Yeah.
So so I was out for actually 2 weeks at that time. So I missed 2 weeks worth of school.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I kept getting them a little more frequently. I was probably getting vertigo attacks like once or twice every month. So I
That
thought
is
that
a
was
lot.
weird because they say, oh, it's common, but it only happens like once a year. So I'm okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, good. I won't have to deal with it ever again, or at least not until next year. Nope. I kept dealing with it every month. And then I realized, when I went to go, my doctor recommended me to go see ear, nose, and throat doctor. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, so I'm like, whatever, I'll go, I'll do whatever. So I went, and he's telling me like the rundown that I have vertigo and all that. And he told me just do the head exercises, the Epley maneuver. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. Well, he did it to me the first time. I hated it, but it did go away. And then he's like, okay, it should go away, and if it comes back, just do that. So I did it. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong, but it would come back, but it wouldn't go away. So I'm just
Wow.
like, okay. So I would trigger it, but I didn't know how to make it go away. I did exactly how he did it. So I would go back when I
Yeah.
had vertigo, and he would do it again. So it would go away when he did it, but then like either the next day or like a few hours later it would come back. So I'm just like, well, this sucks.
Yeah.
So so then he made me get like an MRI scan to make
Uh-huh.
sure everything was okay with my brain. Um so he checked and everything was fine. I mean, he found like a little small cyst, but he said it was nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he said like I had a lot of fluid in my ear and it was like the crystals out of place and all that. So I'm like, okay. But he told me the only thing he was concerned about was the fluid. He said that could be a very big risk of Meniere's. So
Yes.
so he told me as long as I don't have any like hearing loss, I should be okay. That didn't really help me or make me feel a little safer. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, you're the doctor, you know what you're doing. Um, every now and then I'll hear like a little bit of ringing in my ears,
Yeah.
or like I'll kind of hear like I don't know how to explain the noise, like a little whoosh, like whoosh, whoosh,
Yep.
like
Yep.
noise
Yep.
in my ear.
Yep.
Usually when I get vertigo is when I hear it. So it's
Uh,
kind of it's kind of weird because I haven't trained Gemini to do any like hearing things because I don't really know how.
yeah.
So I'm kind of worried if I go deaf in one ear because he's gonna be like, "What's wrong with you?" But hopefully I don't get that. I'm okay with BPPV, but I've kind of like been able to manage it a little bit. But it's
Rosa, extremely interesting story. Uh, the, it's so powerful too because all your symptoms, all that you're experiencing, it's so overwhelming, especially for you were so young, like you were so young
yeah,
when this started happening, and but it almost, I mean, I am not a doctor obviously, but it makes me almost feel that you might have either vestibular migraines or actually Meniere's because BPPV, the doctor is right. Like it can come back, but it comes back. There is like a lapse of time before it comes back. But because yours is so like chronic, like all the time, like also consistent, it's just so interesting that they still have basically diagnose you with BPPV when your symptoms align more, at least in my humble opinion, with vestibular migraines or with Meniere's because
hmm
the whooshing in the ear, like I get that too. I don't have any hearing loss, but I get the whoosh 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 and sometimes like a beep in the
yeah,
ear, and I don't get the actual vertigo like the spinning attacks anymore. Mine is more of like on balance. Like I feel like I'm going from side to side, side to side. But friends of mine that have many years, they describe it like that, like the actual vertigo spinning sensation, and it hits them fairly often, fairly frequently. So
yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that your ENT uh, is still is diagnosing you with BPPV. Have they given you any medicine, like anything that will help you kind of like mellow down the symptoms?
The only thing they told me to take was just meclizine, which I could get at like Walgreens and stuff. And I'll take what is Dramamine. I think that's also what it's called. So I take those two, but that's all they told me to take.
Interesting. Um, I don't know what it's called in the States, but in here they gave me something called betahistine. I'll send you a picture later so you can maybe ask your doctor to see because that one is apparently really good for any type of vertigo and dizziness. So
Really?
so yeah, so hopefully you find some relief with that because I know I know how debilitating these conditions are. Like
Yeah.
it changes your whole life. Like you're not yourself anymore. You feel you're constantly in fear because you're
Hmm.
like, I don't know when it's gonna hit me next. So if I go driving or if I go to the store or if I go anywhere, like you're always at the mercy of these attacks happening out of the blue. So it's so debilitating. That's
It,
why I'm glad that you have a Gemini, because he can kind of be that extra support.
yeah, it is. Even like even though he's still with me, like even though he does help me, I still get that fear every now and then.
Yeah.
Just because I just hate the feeling. And I bet
No,
you do. You know, I mean, I don't like everyone hates the feeling
yeah.
and it's crazy how there's not like the lack of awareness, you know? It's
Yes.
a lot of people don't know, like they hear vertigo and they're like, what's that? You know, they
Yes.
don't know what it is, and then I have to explain. But I feel like my explanation isn't good enough. It's like they're like, oh, dizziness, like motion sickness. It's like no, it's not that.
Yes.
It's just crazy that people don't like it's not the people's fault. It's just like the lack of awareness, you know, that
Yeah.
people just don't know what it is.
Rosa, the lack of awareness and the lack of compassion, because you're right.
Mhm.
Once they find out that you're when you try to explain it, they're like, "Oh, you're just dizzy," and you're like, "No, I'm not just dizzy. I'm disabled dizzy because I can walk, I can drive, I can function because
Exactly.
my body just won't react." So
And you can't go to work, so you're not, you're
yes,
you're losing money. You can't go to school, you're losing education. It's so it negatively impacts you so much.
yes, no,
and
I
it
agree.
and people don't see it. It's like, when like saying like with my trainer, like because I work with a different trainer, when I told him what vertigo is, I told him, I'm like, hey, just to let you know, before you hire me on, I do get this, like, these attacks. And I explain it, and he thinks it lasts one day. I'm like, no, it can last up to like 2 weeks. I'm like, it
Or
can last
more.
up
Yeah.
to. I'm like, it can last up to a month. I'm like, I can,
Yes.
and I'll be like, I'll let you know when I'm returning back to work. So he didn't understand it until he saw it firsthand. And
Okay.
he was like, you are not the same person when you have an attack. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's so it's
and he told me, he's like, it's like the life in me just left my body. He's like, you
yeah.
turn pale. You don't, like, you're just a different person. I'm like, I
Yeah.
know.
we become we become like a shell of ourselves, because I'm usually a very outgoing guy and very fun to be around. But when I get the dizziness really strong, and I feel the sensation of dissociation, it's almost like you're in a dream, like you're in a dream
Hmm.
like state. You just go quiet. You don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want to listen to any sounds. You kind of like just want to go in a corner and be left alone until this passes, like it goes away. Yeah. So it's I know what you mean, and I feel for you, because it is not good to not fun to experience it. Yeah.
It's
uh,
not. No, it's terrible.
so
It-
how long have you had a Gemini helping you with this? How long have you had him?
so far it's only been a year. We've
Okay.
started we've started training. We started training like just basic obedience when he was from 4 months to a year. He's
Uh-huh.
gonna be 4 this year. So when
Okay.
he was 4 months to a year, we started training like basic obedience and all that.
Yep.
When he was like 1.5, we started training for like psych tasks. So like if I started hyperventilating or like having a panic attack,
Uh-huh.
I did start training him in that, to kind of interrupt. Like if I was like crying or breathing heavily, he would come and kind of just like uh break that break my thought process into
Yep.
crying,
Yep.
and then he would like comfort me in that when I'm in that
Nice.
stage. So he knew that. So now with him being 3, so 3 until now, I guess, he's been training to do like the vertigo responses and all that.
Okay.
So he's fairly new still. So he's been going at this for a year, and he's been really, really smart at doing this. Like
Yeah.
he knows.
And Rosa, do you believe that the more more and more cases like this start happening, do you believe that maybe it will become more and more common for people to have a dog as a support by their side? Is that maybe more and more dogs are going to be trained in this kind of a condition?
I would hope so. I think,
Yeah.
in my opinion, I think so, but I would really hope so because it helps. And Gemini, he's a border collie mix, so he isn't very big. He's like a medium-sized dog. So
Uh-huh.
if I own like a Great Dane or like a bigger dog, a big dog,
Yeah.
I would be able to do like counterbalance. So like if I can't keep my proper balance, I would use them as a counter, like a kind of to support me up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
with him being so little, I can't do that with him.
Yeah.
So, like in the future, I would probably own a bigger dog. So because that would be one of like something that would really, really help me with.
Yeah.
So that way I'm able to walk on my own and kind of just get myself to safety rather than sit in a chair and kind of cry. But yeah, I would really hope to see, service dogs helping people that have, BPPV, Meniere's disease, and, all that, like any type of dizziness, because people don't understand how terrible it is until they actually have
Until
it.
they experience it. I know it's so unfortunate because I mean, obviously there are conditions that are more critical, like for example when you hear somebody has cancer, you hear a lot of compassion for that person. You're like, oh my god, like I hope you're okay, like I really I feel really sorry for you for what you're going through. But they don't understand that these conditions, vestibular conditions, or and many other types of chronic illness that are not terminal but are chronic, are also very, very, very hard to deal with. So yeah, I believe that more compassion needs to be uh, created around this type of conditions. And I am my mind is blown because Gemini is the first dog I've ever heard of that helps with this. Like I've never heard of it. So like I am so excited. This is such a light of hope. Like this is so amazing. Like I'm really excited about this. And I have three dogs. I hope maybe I can train one of them sometime to help me out with this too. Like this is just amazing. Uh,
Yeah, and even like if you check on my Instagram, there's one of I think there's a video like I think it's black and white, I don't know, but he's doing one of his taskings, which is the pillow one. That one's like the biggest one that has helped me with. Um I'm going to see if I can try to like get a video of him doing where he brings me medicine and like he'll hold it and stuff. So
nice.
I'm
That'll
not
be
very good at
amazing.
using the camera with like two hands or like I'm terrible, but but yeah, he's been a lifesaver, and I really hope, you know, in the future, people will start seeing vertigo more as a disability, and
Yeah.
being able to help people that suffer through it.
Yes, yes. I hope the same because so many people like mine is a little bit more manageable. Yours sounds very intense. So I believe there are different degrees of like vestibular damage in each person. We're all different. So you're right. Like I hope there are more awareness, more compassion because it's a very debilitating condition for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, so, do you believe that Gemini is being so smart about learning how to help you with this because of the type of breed he is? Or do you believe that maybe other breeds, like whether it is a German Shepherd or a Pit Bull or I don't know, a Poodle, do you think that they will have the same smarts as he does to learn these things?
I think so. I think part of it, he is part of that, border collies are a very intelligent breed.
Yes, yes.
So I think he was able to pick up fast because of that.
Mhm.
But I really think that any other type of breed would be um, you know, good for this type of stuff if you were to train them, like every day, let them learn the ropes. I think they would be, any breed would. I want to say any breed, but like the common breeds, like what are they called? Golden retrievers, German shepherds,
Yeah, yeah.
poodles, all that. I think that would be. They would definitely know what to do, and bigger breeds like Great Danes, Saint Bernards, Newfoundlands.
Mastiffs. Yeah.
I think all those would really benefit more for dizzy people, just because you're able to balance on them, kind
That
of get
is.
your balance back, and they help you out with that.
Yeah, that is a
Going
great
up,
point.
yeah. So I think like bigger breeds, I think they definitely help. But even like medium size or smaller dogs, I would probably say medium size and up would probably be best for people with vertigo.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no, like this interview has been so like mind blowing. Like this is such a look at him. He's such a cuddler too. Like he just wants to be next to you and like touching you and you petting him. Like he's so cute.
Oh yeah, he just has to be by me. He's under my hand. He's very good. And one of the other things he does is he does deep pressure therapy, and that actually helps me because on the days where I feel dizzy, he'll
Uh-huh.
actually put all his weight on my legs to
Okay.
prevent me from getting up. It's like
Okay.
he almost knows that I'm still lightheaded, and once I feel better, or more like strong enough to get up, then he like releases all that weight. He's like, okay, you're good.
Wow. Interesting.
So he's helped me so much, and like I am very, very thankful of him for helping me. I'm proud of myself for training him to be
Yes.
able to help me. So I really like the teamwork we both have.
Yeah.
So
And I'm hoping this interview goes viral because I would love for more and more people to see, number one, the type of connection that you two have, because you obviously you can see that you're very bonded together, and just your creativity training him to understand your symptoms without even you having to speak. Like he knows, he just by instinct knows what's happening to you, and then he knows how to act in order to
yeah.
help you. Like I like this is just mind blowing. Like this is awesome. Like so I'm really happy. I'm really happy we did this interview.
Yeah, and I will say sometimes it is hard, like because there are programs that you can train like a dog to be a service dog.
Yeah.
Gemini, I trained him myself. So I was honestly like really worried of how that would go.
Yeah.
It's been pretty okay so far. I shouldn't say okay. It's actually been really good.
Yeah.
Uh, but there are some times where it is difficult. Because sometimes it requires me to trigger a vertigo attack,
Yeah.
or
Yes.
I will accidentally do it without realizing it. So then, like, I'm actually having an attack, and if he hasn't learned this task, he's like, "Well, what am I supposed to do?" But yeah, it is hard. Like heavy breathing. If I'm panting, thick
Yep.
panting, it makes me
Yep.
really lightheaded, and I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I did it. And after I did it, I was like, oh, I was very lightheaded. But same with pillow. I don't actually, even though I knew I'm not supposed to lay flat on my back, I started with my back on the floor, and I got pretty dizzy. But I didn't trigger an attack, but I did get a little bit dizzy. So that one was, I had to improvise on that one. So
Yeah.
that one was a little bit difficult because I had to use pillows, like actual pillows, and then I had to
Yeah.
use him, and then I had to remove the pillow, and it was more like a workout.
Yeah.
So that one was hard, but I think next time I'd hope to find a program to help me.
No,
So
but just the fact that you're doing it and that you're succeeding at doing it, it's amazing. Like it's I, I thought I was a pretty good dog trainer with my dogs, but they only know how to sit and bark and lay down. Like I don't think I could get them to the point where you have Gemini so well trained. That's just amazing. Yeah, I'm so mind blown. Like it's a very positive, very positive light of hope, because if this becomes more and more natural for other trainers to start doing the same with their dogs, I believe many people are going to benefit from it. Like this is just huge.
Yeah, I really hope more people, I hope this helps what should I say? I hope this helps people kind of open their eyes and be like, wow, maybe I should get a dog to help me.
Yes.
Um, like not to be afraid to get one, because I know that vertigo isn't considered a disability in the United States, but
Okay.
to me, it impacts my life. It
Yes.
it impacts my life, and if I didn't have him with me, you know, I don't even know where I would be. So, and I wish that, the United States would see vertigo as a disability,
Yes.
because they don't understand how much it impacts people
Absolutely.
negatively.
It's a
Like,
shame. It's almost like the people that make the rules and legislations will have to experience something like this themselves
hmm
in order to be like, oh wow, okay, well that is not good. So
yeah.
so yeah, because you're right. Like it's unfortunate that it's not considered a disability, because it can change your lives, and it affects your personal life, your social life, your professional life. Is just
And
uh,
in your mental health.
yes,
Like, you have anxiety, and then when you're like in bed for 2 weeks, you get depressed. It's like
yes,
it's like you not only does it affect not only do you have to suffer through vertigo, you have to suffer through, the mental issues that come with it too. Um,
um,
so that's like the anxiety and the depression and, all that stuff. And
yeah.
you want to talk to someone about it, and it's like they just don't understand your vertigo and all that. So it is rough.
Yeah, Rosa, I don't want to turn the interview right now into a dark moment, because we've been having such fun time. But you're right. My doctor himself, he told me, he said, many people with vestibular conditions get so desperate that they commit suicide, or they fall into a deep depression,
hmm
because this not only the physical aspect like you mentioned, but it is also like a mental game, because it's constantly testing your anxiety, the level of stress, and just how you feel about what you used to know as your mind and body. It just completely flips that into something brand new, because you don't understand what's happening to you into your mind. So it is yeah, it is a tough thing. I hope that legislation in the states changes for a more positive thing, and I will send you a picture of the beta histone medicine to see maybe your doctor can see if that will help you
Yeah,
find
I
some
would
relief.
I would like to try it. Yeah, it sounds like the way you described it, I feel like it would definitely help me. The
Yeah,
like the motion sickness one, I get it from Walgreens. It helps me. I try to take it before, like, if I'm I know I get like car sick when I'm in the car.
yep.
So I try to take it if I go on car rides. If I'm gonna be laying down for a while, or if I'm gonna be sitting down for a while, or if I know something that's gonna trigger a vertigo attack, I'll take it beforehand.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it's kind of helped me. Sometimes it doesn't really help me if I'm like, if I have a vertigo attack and then I take it after, it doesn't usually help me then. Usually it helps me a little bit before. So hopefully that one that you're telling me about, hopefully that helps.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'll send you a picture. Right, Rosa. Well, this is the end of our interview. Thank you so much for doing this,
No
and
problem.
for introducing us to Gemini as well. You guys are both doing you're like a dream team. You're both doing amazing work. So keep it up, and yeah, like we'll catch up soon to see how you're doing and how Gemini is doing.
Okay, thank you.
All
It was
right,
nice
take care,
meeting
Rosa.
you.
Yeah, nice to
Bye.
meet you too. Bye bye.